guess. It's a 10. What's up, Alan? Alright. I said if we made it out of the game by 5, we'd be good. It's 5:05. We have time. We have time. It won't take that long. Did everybody get their guesses in? Because I'm cutting it off. And if you change your guess, you're stinky. Nobody would. I know you wouldn't. Oh god, what are we gonna... The opening? This is a thing? Did we ever let it ride on the title screen? Cool. I'm gonna close the game. First aid! I love them. Guys, I've been working on this for... Oh, EX new game. But there is a post game, right? I know there is. Gamers, I've been working on this for a couple of weeks. Adding things as I went along. Oh yeah, there's content. And we're going to have to go over it because it's probably going to be too small to really parse. So I'll full screen it temporarily. It's pretty loaded. It's quite loaded, mind you. The musings of an insane person. Let me... I have this on the wrong screen. One sec. Put this over here. That's better. All right, you ready? Us for us. Real quick. Let's go down the line. Take it all in. Because we got a lot going on. This is my favorite one. I made one for each. So for a little context, this is raw. For a little context, when we did Symphonia, we did a little thing where I just made little graphics for all the characters. And they were kind of small. They were just edits of the character, like, the character art. In this one, I took it a step beyond and was like, what if I did a whole, like, scene for all of them? Like a whole space for all of them. She thought Carol was a gnome. I will post these in Discord later. So worry not. We'll be able to part. This one's cursed. Aquaman. Yeah, he was there. Oh. She's cooking food over burning money. Us for us. All right. If there are any questions, ask me later. We don't got the time right now. We got to get into this. This one's my favorite. I was kind of going for the vibe of like, this is like their dreamscape, kind of. These are their dreamscapes. This is Rita's dream, you know? Her girlfriend getting up in the morning and bringing her coffee. I made this list because I didn't like the ones that were out there. And some of it was irrelevant. And some of it was missing stuff that's only relevant to us and only us. So I just made this with characters that I cared about, kinda. First off, can you see my cursor? No. Let's do like this. Properties, capture cursor. Was it not? You click into the window? Oh, that's why. We're gonna do this. I like silver. I know it's meant to be like a bottom tier according to this, but I think it looks cool. And this one will just be them. Although, no, I could honestly just make S tier and A tier, because I don't know. Nobody's going up in those. That's not true. We'll clean that up. Point is, I'm just going to put them up there for now. No, this isn't the list. No, this isn't the list, guys. No, this isn't it. Stop. No, this isn't a list. Look, they fill it up perfectly. Oh, Flynn. You can fit right in there, buddy. Right. We're demoting him for that. Where do I even start with this? I'm just gonna start throwing stuff down. I really just put these on here. I really just want to do this to talk about the game, kinda. That's really the goal of this. I don't truly care where I put all of these characters. Let's throw what I know, yeah. Where are we? What's his name? Immediate fucking, I hate this guy. He lived too long. But also, he gave us Raw, so maybe he's worth it for that. This is the first guy that Yuri killed in his vigilante arc. Probably not the first, but the first on screen. And that was really cool. That was when I was like, dang, we got a game. We already had a game. That was pretty much right before that, yeah. Oh, here's a great D tier. Gnome. So filler. They didn't have 4 Antelikeia, so they were like, what if we made one that didn't talk, and it became another creature that doesn't talk? That was a little cope. They really should have just like, I mean, they couldn't get rid of Baul, because he was how we flew around. But I think Baul, like, I don't know, it would have been a nice emotional moment. I'm not saying I needed Baul to die. But I think Baul could have been the wind, and Chroma just could have been the earth. I think that would have made more sense. The whole... So, let me quickly talk about the game. Not the stream, the game. Very important distinction. I do not want to compare the Symphonia and Vesperia streams right now, because I don't want to give away any data for when we eventually do a stream ranking. But the games, just as a reference point, it doesn't have to be a comparison. I think at the end of the day, Symphonia definitely had a better story. But this one had a very strong start. I would say even like a strong first, like, 3/5. And I've seen this criticism online where a lot of people think it falls off in the later parts. And I also think that's kind of the case. Story-wise. I mean, all the good side content opened up. But once we were done with the Alexei stuff, and even, like, he himself wasn't great. He was, like, alright. He fulfilled his role. But even then, like, he was kind of cope. He didn't feel like he had the sauce to be the final guy. So you knew there was more coming. But also, at the same time, he kind of does feel like he was the peak. Of, like, the tension and the build-up, you know? After he was gone, all the build-up was gone, and there was nothing really, like, left. Like, Duke wasn't built up enough to be the final villain. It didn't really, like, work for me. So that whole late game story, and then the spirit stuff, it was just kind of like, I don't know. It didn't land well. They kind of just came up with it at the end, which was unfortunate. But again, like, that's not everything, you know. I didn't think we would fight it unless it, like, had some sort of core or something, because it was literally, like, covering the planet. So I was like, we gotta solve this some other way. So I figured we'd either fight Duke or fight some, like Adafago's core or something. Speaking of Alexei, though, I'll put him in, like, I don't know. Put him in, like, B. Maybe A. He was cope, but he did have presence. He was good. He did move the plot along in a more fun way than any of the other villains, I think. I'm gonna be jumping around, I think. Speaking of which, Duke, I don't know. Like I said, my thing with Duke, I'm gonna put him right here. My thing with Duke is that I liked where he was going at the beginning. Because they show you this, like, extremely Sephiroth-coded character, and you're like, okay, that's the villain. But then you see his motivations and stuff, and you're like, oh, he might be on our side. And he's, like, helping us out with stuff. And you're like, maybe this is gonna be a subversion. Yo, what's up, Val? Maybe this will be, like, a subversion. And then he is the villain, and it's like, oh. Okay. That wasn't, like, that didn't, like, land enough for me. That moment halfway through the game where he gives you Dane Nomos, I was like, this is sick. And that was probably my favorite moment with him. And when we talked to him in, what was it, Jormungand? That scene was cool. And I wish he was more complex like that. But they kind of just boiled him down to, like, humans bad by the end of it. And I was like, oh, that's too bad. Yeah, Mythos is sick. I really like Mythos. Again, my only Tales of reference point is Symphonia, so there's going to be a lot of comparisons. I hate cows. Bring me the cats. Although I like the ones on the island. I like the one who gave the exams. Those guys were cool, but I did not like cows and Mantike. He had a dark energy. Scary child. Cumore also was bad. I think. Not that bad. I thought Cumore would be more of a, like, rival. Sort of like the guy that you love to hate. But we just kind of killed him off. I'm doing very well. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're doing well as well. I thought he would be more of, like, a recurring antagonistic force. And I thought he would be more interesting as, like, here's the corrupt side of the Knights. but like he's still doing his job, so there's nuance to it. But no, he just was corrupt. As soon as he started like enslaving people, I'm having a blast. Zagi clears. Oh, absolutely. There's not enough nuance to him for him to land. So I'm putting him down here. He disappointed me. Also kind of like Rago. Rago was effective. Rago over Kimura. Rago was effective. Barbos stinks. I'm seeing a trend. Barbos is fine. He just doesn't do much. Is his thing. Zagi's good, and I think Jaeger's really good. We'll get to Jaeger. Let's put him down. I'd put Jaeger in like A. I like Jaeger. I had to kind of like playing both sides. Like, what is his end game? And he was funny. That was his theme also. Alright, let's just close out the other two then. These two. Truly nothing. I can't believe them. They're in the opening in like a prominent scene. They show up so many times. And they end up just being one optional fight. How are you gonna wait? Like, I really like their designs, honestly. They're cool. And one of them is Lord Bailey. And they're so, like, nothing. I'll put you here, like, you here. I wish there were more. Put them, like, here. Put them, like, here. I like their designs. They could have been cool. Hanks is raw. I put him like here. Hanks is nothing, guys. He's raw though. In our lore, he's raw. He was on rocks. Don Whitehorse is sick. Gone too soon though, I would say. I'm still gonna put him up here. He's very cool. I really like his character. I wish he was around a little longer. He made the world a lot bigger, I think, which was cool. The world felt big in this one until, like, I mean, it gradually felt a little smaller over time, but that's just gonna happen with any, you know, RPG like that. No, this song is sad. Oh, let it run. He's sick, and I love what he does for like a lot of the cast. Funny thing about Whitehorse and that other two. Yeah, in the bad tier list, the one that like was the best one we could find was very ugly looking. For example, Don Whitehorse was cut off at the like head. Which Snack was like, I don't know if this is intentional to be funny because he gets executed, or if it's lazy. And it was probably the latter. Yeah, Yuri gets him. He does a lot for the cast. He changes Carol and he changes Yuri, which is pretty big. We'll talk about that. wait. I don't know, let's throw some crazy ones. Bellius was cool. Renee. Pharaoh was cool. I'd put you in like... That's for Keith. That's kind of the other thing about Duke, is that Pharaoh's already doing that whole, like, human's a bad thing. Except not as a human. But, you know. It retreads a lot. I like Swan Brigade. They are very effective. They are extremely effective. And it's so funny that the whole game, the way they like gradually build is cool, because at first you just know these two. Atticor and Bokos. And you're like, okay, these are like Tweedledee and Tweedledum here. What does Yuri call them? Tweedle A and Tweedle B? And they're always around for like the tutorial stuff, which I think is really funny. And then LeBlanc shows up and you're like, oh, this is their boss. Like, this is the leader of the, you know, the Swan Brigade. He's their captain. And then you are I don't remember exactly if it plays out like this or if I just wasn't paying attention. But I think then at some point it's name dropped that they are the Swan Brigade. And you're like, who's Swan? And they keep teasing who Swan is. And the reveal of Swan, which, let me put him down. I'm putting him down as a separate character. It's Ra. He's sick. That was a huge moment for me. It worked really well. Because you know something's up with this guy. This is not talking about him on the list. Because this is a different guy. This is Raven. You know the whole game, there's something up with Raven. And you know there's going to be something probably at a climactic moment. And what is it other than Captain Swan? So cool. And the fight with him is sick. And the fact that he like comes back sometimes, it's cool. Let's get some low. Let's do Zagi while we're here. I'm gonna put Zagi right here for us. Is he cope? Oh, extremely. That's why I love him. We love a cope beast. We love a cope beast around here. Well, that's not true. No, we hate a cope beast. We like a cope Ra. A cope like a Kuze. We make up terms. Cope Ra. Cope fun. He's like a Kuze. And he started it all. He kickstarted this playthrough. Just a reminder. The first Sunday was Zagi Sunday. It was not Yuri Yunde. Yuri Yunde was session 2. I respect this guy. I'm so glad he came back. Apparently he is in Project Cross Zone, which I didn't remember. But that tracks. Because that is a game about refighting bosses over and over, so they couldn't have picked a better guy to put in. And I would actually like love to just see that game again after having played this. And some other games. Just to see the fun interactions. That's what that game is all about. It's not a great game. It's been such a funny through line of this playthrough. I will talk more about it too, because it plays into a conversation about one of these characters. I put Tokunaga on here for no real reason. Literally, he looks like a Madao. You can go here. He looks like Hasegawa. I don't know. Tokunaga is like the Cid. That's not true. Well, it kind of is. He was a Keith. He was a lot of things. He was our ship's pilot. And for that, I think he at least goes here. No, that's not true. He goes right here. Being cool. What a cool design for a character you never see. Can I go on the boat? Can I, like, when I'm on the boat, can I, like, pause and hit, like, walk around ship? I don't think I can. Let's go through these fast. These are taking forever. Little Wolf, important to the playthrough. Not a real character, though. But very important. So thank you for existing. That's the only reason you're in B. It's the only reason you're in B. And it's the only reason you're on this list. Thank you for the wee sand and the piss and the everything. I liked Baul. I think I'll put Baul, like, right here. Oh! Fun little companion for us. Despite not talking, I liked him. He gave Zuby a lot. He was a cutie. I think he's a baby. Chroma was kind of Cope as well. She was a Cope good guy. But she was also, like, a bad guy. She was a double agent. Cool design. Not a very cool character. I mean... It was just kind of out of left field for me. She didn't have a lot of focus for that whole thing to work, I think. I don't know. Didn't do much for me. Frida made it into the picture. Like Usopp. Yoder, hilarious. Hilarious guy. Mark Zuckerberg. Always smiling. I don't know if he's human. He might be reptilian. I don't know, but he's a nice enough guy. He's a stand-up guy. I thought he would be evil. But no, he's just clueless. Sicily was fun. I'll put him in B as well. Arrivederci. He gave us a lot. Kaufman was awesome. One of my favorite bits of this playthrough. I'll probably put you like right here. I loved the bit of just harassing Kaufman. It really evolved in a fun way. And she's cool. Make no mistake. I think she's a really cool character. She gave us the ship and everything. Good for her. Good for her. Knots is also pretty cool. I would put him in, like, B, though. He's probably, like, right here. He's probably, like, right here. He's a homie. He took over Nordopolica. I mean, he's like a good enough guy. He doesn't, like, do that much. But he kind of becomes the de facto leader. Nordopolica. I thought that was kind of interesting. Because he just looks like a bodyguard. But no, he was the second in command. The Myorzo Elder I also thought was kind of funny. I wish we had more time with that guy. I'm putting him like right here. Whenever he popped up, he was talking crazy stuff. Are we good here? Here, let's do these two. Rich Tybor and Karen, I love them. I'll put them like right here. This feels fair. They're wonderful. They're like the first inn you go to and you keep coming back. And they're friends. They're the nothing homies for sure. Okay, now all that's left are real characters, I think. Let's put Harry down. Harry was a Keith, which automatically gets him a +1. I think this is fine for him. Is he A? He really isn't. Kind of sucks. I'll put him like right here. He didn't have enough. His arc was good. It was a little predictable. But I wish he kind of like, we got to see him come into it more. It looks like it ended right when he stepped up, you know? I wish we could have seen him in the lead. Like doing stuff, like in Ornian. But he didn't really get to do that, so I was like, oh, okay. But I don't know, he makes a nice foil for Carol. I do like that a lot, and he has a cool thing going with Raven. So, he's not totally lost on me. Okay, real characters. Let's Hunting Blades stick together. Let's do the littles. These were the only ones that we really like used. We didn't use little Yuri, we didn't use little Carol, or little Judy. And we almost didn't use little Patty. That was a very last minute one. I think she'll probably be the lowest. But it was funny to have her. Because that was the session where I really got eye-pilled. I think she can get a nice low bottom of B. Crazy. Little Flynn was big. Good work, Bridge. Little Flynn was a big thing when, remember we got all 9 party members at one point. Or sorry, all 8, because we didn't have Patty yet. But it felt like it was like... Did we have Patty? No, I don't think we did. When we went to, what is it, Gasafrost or whatever? And then we lost Flynn. And Rapide got Little Flynn to like cope having him with us. We're like, oh, Flynn, buddy, what's up? He filled the Flynn-shaped hole in our heart for a bit. So I'm putting him like right here. The littles are gonna go so high. I think next I would do Little Rita. She was cute, and she was a big part of the snowboarding arc. And I think I'll put her right here. I like her book. Snowboarding arc. And these are the 2 big ones. Little Raven, a creature of chaos. I don't remember when we used him. I think it was the session after the Weesand. The original Weesand. I think it was right after that. I could be wrong. Or it might have been the same one. But I do remember Raven and Little Raven were homies. Along with Rapide. She does sit in the Luffy spot. That is big. I'll move her up a little. And he's going up here. That's stupid. He's going right here. There. But Little Estelle is the main one. And she's going up here. Because Little Estelle... Because Little Estelle was the beginning of the end for her. Where everyone was like, "Ah, oh, nice job, Little Estelle. Wow, great work." And she'd be like, "What? No, that was me." They were all teasing her. It was kind of the beginning of the teasing Estelle arc, I think. Which was a huge, fun thing to do for the rest of the playthrough, kind of. Look at how mischievous she is. Okay, real characters. Tyson, big deal. Raw. In the opening. And that's carrying him. He's kind of cool, though. Nan? I'll put her like here. I do like her. I like her quite a bit. And she's Wendy Lee, whose voice I like. She is cool. And she's a really cool design. And this guy, guys, I thought his name was Clint. I thought his name was Clive. Which is it? It's one of them. Yeah, no, at one point I thought it was Clint, and then I was like Clive, and then I was like, no, it is Clint. It's Chiaki. This guy stinks, kinda. It's strange. Well, no, he's not that bad. He's like, alright. I put him like here. He works. But these two are better. He doesn't have enough, I mean, a lot of that endgame content is good for him with Carol, but I don't know if it's enough. He still feels like a big jerk. And these two seem to be more the favorites, kind of. They get more of the content, I think. Do I even think that's true of Tyson? Brother Carol! And now, these are three big ones. Witcher, he's a little nerd, but I like him. His relationship with the Flynn Brigade was cute, and I like his little rivalry with Rita. I'd put him like... Put him like here, I think, though. I still like the rest of these more. And do I think Sodia was cool, or do I just think it was funny that how we latched onto her? I really like her design. I think she looks cool. I think she still goes down here. I do like her, but she's a little too much. She's kind of crazy. That girl. Can you blame her in the household she grew up in? And Kozakura is going right up here in Brave Vesperia, where he belongs. Did you include him in your guesses, guys? Did you? Better go back. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to include Kozakura. That was a joke. No, genuinely, it's so stupid, but this guy means so much to me. An NPC, this is the most, since, like, he's Lucy tier. He's Dragon Quest XI Lucy tier. Except he has a real name. But in terms of NPC, that really is just nothing at all. Yeah, Aaron tier. We gave him character lore. I truly loved seeing his face whenever we went to a town. A familiar presence, a friend. And the bits were funny. He was part of Rocks. They really wanted to poach him from Kaufman. He was in Patty's Summon. He built Ornian. So much for him. He's fleshed out. We fleshed him out. He was not a part of Kaufman's guild. That's the critical information they were missing. Alright, guys. He wasn't even with her. We are here now. Can I take them off? Can I save what I have so far? Hold on. Just in case it does something. There's a nice screenshot for me in the VOD if I have to go back or anything. Right? I'm gonna take these all off. Can I do that? I don't want to. Let's just add it to your pillow. Doesn't matter what order. Oh, jeez, we don't have a lot of time. I'm gonna take my time to say what I need to say, but if you need to start snack, that's fine. I don't want to hold you up. You've got a long one ahead. Blah, blah, blah. Last place. I want to be clear. A is still good. Just as a whole here, I want to talk about this cast. I say this a lot when we do these streams. And I might say it again in the next game. I don't know. I love this cast all the way through. Top to bottom. They feel very cohesive. We've been with them for a long time. And I feel a strong bond with them. And I think they are some of our finest work. However, someone has to be last. And I looked at this cast. Exactly. Well, that might be a point I touch upon in a moment, actually. I look at this cast, and I think about, in a general sense, I think there are 3 that would be easy to throw under the bus for, like, a generic reason. And I didn't want to land on one of them as my last place if I could help it. But I think I did. And I really, like, I'm saying this now and I don't even feel good about it. But hear me out on it. This feels incorrect. I'm here now. This is where it's at. This is the hardest part. The bottom is way harder than the top. The top I have free. At the bottom of this cast of A tiers and S tiers, for me personally, is actually going to be Flynn. I know that's crazy. I know. Put the guns away. Because he's very cool. He's very fun to play. He does feel like the most, like, square hole. Had him second. Okay, sis. We'll see. Square hole in a square cube in a round hole of this party, just because you don't have enough time with him. The characters that he is important to, he plays off them great. He plays off Yuri great, Estelle, Rapide, I would even say Raven. But he's missing, he has a little with Patty. Yeah, he does, he works great in that role. But playing as him is sick. And now that I know that he wasn't in the original playable, other than like a fight or whatever it is, I kind of get it. Because he wasn't really written to be a part of the party. Or, you know, like, I think he probably should have been. But they didn't give him enough. I wanted a lot more Flynn side content. I don't think we got enough. He also didn't develop much of a bit. That's cope, you know, that doesn't have to play into it, but it's true. He kind of was just the straight man, which is good, but there are we had other straight men in the party that were better at that. Yes, I agree. Patty gets plenty. Patty is fleshed out with the party. That's my thing. No, yeah, for sure. There are very few straight characters on this party. Yeah, it's really just how he fits into the group. He's missing a bit. He needed more skits, more side quests, whatever. He is very fun to play. Like I said earlier, he is maybe my favorite to play as. They really made him fun. And he is cool. He gives me like a Jinbei vibe. I think we were talking about that. How he like shows up really late and you're just waiting for him to join the whole time. Oh, that's okay, Sis. Are you the only one that's out? Give me updates on who's out, but not why. Well, I guess at the beginning you don't have to say out. It's not about being out. Don't worry about it. I want to see how you do on the top. That's what I care about. Because the bottom could have been anything, really. And the fight with Yuri was one of the high points of the game for me. I really do think that was one of the coolest moments in the game. There was so much build up to it. Especially for me, who, again, knew Yuri, Estelle, and Flynn from Project Cross Zone. So funny. And was excited to hear a song from that game in its original form. And when it finally hit, I was like, yes, this is peak. This is awesome. This is great payoff. Was that fight in the original? And then Flynn just doesn't join you? The fight must have been in the original. It's like, it seems crucial to their arc. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But yeah, and like we were saying, I love the Flynn Brigade. They do a lot for him. He's still great. A is not bad. Next up... Yeah. Yeah. A little backstory on this one. So I went into this game, I looked at the cast of characters. I picked out, oh, they look cool. I'm really gonna like them. And then I looked at some of the other characters and I was like, maybe I'm not gonna like them. Which is just, sometimes it's fun to judge a book by its cover, right? But, against the odds... Well, hold on. I don't think you know who I'm talking about. Against the odds, I thought they'd be in last place, but they won me over quite a bit. I think Patty's adorable. And I really thought going into the game she'd be down here. I don't know why. I forget why. I think I thought she looked like she would be annoying. But she is very endearing, I think. She's really funny. And what I'm very pleased with is that she felt like part of the game. I didn't know that she was added content. She made her first appearance, and I think Snack said she was added. Somebody said she was added. And I was like, oh, really? I didn't know that. I just thought she was part of the game. I'm curious to see how this goes. It felt very natural, like 95% of the time. Which I think is very cool. Like, it's a very ambitious thing to add a whole character. And for a lot of the game, she wasn't, like, much to me. And, I mean, she's second from the bottom still. But I really did start to enjoy her, like, more towards the end. She got a lot of funny moves. She had some great plot content. I actually really liked her side story. With the pirate stuff. It was a genuine mystery, and I still don't know the answer, kinda. There might be more in the bonus dungeon. I don't really get it all, but it's cool. And she's really, really fun to play. If that was it, it was a little unclear. I think they leave it a little open, and if so, okay. But like, why is she a child? I don't get it. Maybe I need to do a deep dive on the wiki or something after we do post-game stuff. All right, and next up. You can only go so far. The coolest dog in gaming ever. A talking dog on our team. He speaks English. I never gave up. I never gave up that thinking that he would talk. I coped the whole way through. I was like, he's gonna talk at the end. He's gonna talk when they bring the they turn the Entelecheia into spirits. Yeah, I really do. I need to stress how much I love these characters. Yeah, I think so. For a dog that, take this off the record, for a dog that's just, you know, he doesn't talk, he's just an animal on the team. They do such a good job with him. He looks really cool. He is really cool. There is a lot of character to him. He has a crazy backstory. I want to watch the movie, by the way. I am going to watch the movie. We might do... If anybody wants to watch with me. I'm definitely watching it. He's smoking a pipe. He's the coolest dog ever. He is genuinely my favorite dog in gaming now, I think. And honestly, in any other game, he could also be on the bottom. So the fact that he's here, I don't know. He snowboards. He smokes a pipe. He talks. He uses... I think it's really cool that he has the classic, like, knight moveset. He pees everywhere. Yo, that would be sick. No, I love Koromaru too. Yeah. One of my favorite things too is his relationship with Yuri and Flynn. I love how he like watches their fight silently. That was so cool. That was such a cool scene of him just watching. Because he knows how important it is. He respects a man's battle. He was also very fun to play. I love the little plushies. They leaned into how cool he was too. They gave him the Jotaro outfit. They gave him like the demon dog. What a cool character. I love Repeat, and he talks and he sounds like Sean Connery. The end. He's left his mark. Yeah, that part's cool too. Alright, next is... Yeah. Alright, back to what I was saying. When I looked at the cover of this game, there were two characters I looked at, and I was like, those are the picks. Those are the soul reads. Those are going to be the zebra characters. And on the topic of one of them, they did well. They were a bit of a slow burn for me to hit that point. They did kind of hit the ground running, but then they kind of fizzled out a bit. And then they came back to life for me. And that is Judith, who I loved her introduction. She's really cool. Her character arc is, it reminds me of Regal, where Regal is like one of the last characters you get, and they introduce his whole story, and so he's one of the last characters you learn the deal about, and he's also one of the first characters who like completes his arc, which is kind of weird. And she kind of reminds me of that, where like her whole like vigilante thing resolves really early. Well, not vigilante, that's Yuri. Well, she's kind of doing her own thing, you know, with the Blastia and her whole Baul arc. Once Baul transforms, she's just chill again. And she's just with us for the rest of it. But she's really funny and really cool. She seems to have, like, you know, a lot of potential to be fun. We've talked about this. I regret not, like, being better at her. The aerial combos seem cool. And I also felt like I wasn't, like, doing much of their mid playthrough, like, bit-wise. And then, I don't know. She just started being funny again. So I had a lot more fun. Just, like, having her around. Funny in a lot of the skits. Yeah, my blade! I also really liked her voice performance, actually. Yeah, they do play similar as well. Her battle lines were weird, as much as we love, yeah, my blade! Those feel kind of forced, but I liked her, like, dialogue and, like, the skits. She was really funny. She was one of the funniest skit characters, I think. And I love her relationship with the cast, actually. She has one of the most fun chemistries. Her relationship with Carol is wonderful. With Estelle is funny. With Rita's great. Yuri is cool. Raven is kind of what you would expect, but sometimes she, like, plays into it, which I think is funny. There's real, like, big sister vibes, you know? The secret to my strength is a secret. The Tybor stuff was really funny. Her relationship with Bao was precious. A lot of her stuff is also locked behind late game. The stuff that makes her fun, which is too bad. Okay. I think we're going from A to S now. And I think this is probably where people will get tripped up, maybe. If they haven't already. Because next, I think is actually, believe it or not, is he stalling? I always get scared of some of these. Next is actually Yuri. Is that crazy? He has insane swagger. Extremely cool protagonist. One of the coolest to ever do it. I just think these other four have something more for me. Something that I love. Sometimes you'll play an RPG and you'll be like, oh, really? I'm curious. A character you had last? Oh, Steiner. We'll see. Sometimes you'll play an RPG, or maybe I'll play an RPG, and I'll walk away a little dissatisfied. Again, I talked about how great the chemistry of this party is. Yuri has great chemistry with all of these characters. Every single one. I could write a scenario for any of them. And it's awesome, and I like that. That's like very important for your main character, and sometimes it doesn't always happen like that. So that right there is awesome. I love seeing him in any scene with anybody. His relationship with Carol is awesome, and with Estelle is awesome. Like, truly, any scene they share makes me so happy. My thing with him is that his arc leaves me wanting a little more. It doesn't resolve in a satisfying enough way for me. Yeah. I think the resolution moment is supposed to kind of be, or like, you know, the first one is supposed to kind of be when they all go to save Estelle, and he goes off to do it alone. And the others, like, back him up, and it's like, you don't have to, like, shoulder all these burdens alone. And I'm like, okay, this is something. But I think that was kind of supposed to be the end. And I was like, huh. Because, yeah, he kills a lot of people. You think there's going to be some comeuppance moment, and there really isn't. So it's like, oh, okay. He just killed all these people, and it's kind of chill. And, like, you know, again, gray morals, like, maybe they deserved it. Maybe they didn't, you know? But they never really try to engage with that enough with him, which is kind of what holds him back a little for me. And it makes him feel a little static in a way that I don't think he needs to be. But there are definitely moments where it does seem like he's learned a bit. Like when he teams up with Flynn at the end there, that feels like kind of big point number 2. Where he's like, we can reconcile our two different worldviews into like one, kind of, to, you know, come together and save the world. And then he makes a foil to Duke in that regard. Where he's like, yeah, I have friends now who can shoulder my burdens. But, you know, he's really cool. He's a really cool main character. I love his moveset. He's so flashy. It's actually crazy. Shining Fang is one of the coolest moves ever. And I wish we got more of his backstory, which again, I'm going to watch the movie because it looks cool. Alright, here we are. We're past the one that I was scared to put down. The next 4... If anybody got top 4, I'll give it to you. If everybody's like, quote unquote, out at this point, if you can get the top 4, good for you. In 4th place. In 4th place. No, there's no going back in. The door's locked. God, the song. Oh, this song's Roz. It's the Alexei theme. It's sort of fitting. Estelle. She's cute, huh? I actually think at one point she might have been like here. Maybe, only like here. But she won me over again. She's your classic, you know, fish out of water princess. But I really like how they explore her arc. They give her lots of like cute scenes like that. What she do? She was so funny. Well, this is my list, so this is how it goes. Bottom half. Yeah. She feels kind of like the, you know, she's a deuteragonist. It's kind of a shared role. Dual protagonists, sort of. Correct. Don't fight about this. What was I gonna say? Really funny. I really enjoyed just her, like having her around. The Bragg Funds was the first, like, through line, like, a pleasure to have in class. You know what's really funny? I was thinking about saying that line earlier, and I forget who it was for. But I think it's Estelle. A pleasure to have in class. And I like how she became a children's book writer. Yeah, she's important as like a moral compass. I think where she was losing me at the beginning was how often she was conflicted about choices. And I was like, Estelle, you gotta be learning something at this point. But once she rejoins us after the Alexei arc, and she has her resolve, she's perfect. Alright, these three I had figured out immediately. I didn't have to, like... I had to order them, but these three were my top for, like, the whole playthrough, I think. Or most of it. And at number 3, I'm putting our girl, Rita. She was kind of like a sleeper pick for me. Where, again, I had looked at these two and been like, these are going to be the Zebra characters. And I looked at Rita and I was like, she looks like she could be funny. And she was not at all what I expected she would be. I did not think she would be like the grumpy nerd. And I loved it. I think she's hilarious. Now, she's a little mean sometimes. A little too mean sometimes to our poor little guy. And also, yes, she does yap. She yaps a lot. But it doesn't really take away from me, personally. It is also kind of the plot's fault to a degree. I think she's one of my favorite Michelle Ruffs, if we're talking about just like the performance. She really brought this character to life, like beyond what she was. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, if this... I can absolutely see someone having her down here. She has a lot to dislike. But they don't bring her down for me, and I think she's so a pleasure to have in class, in those skits, and in any side content. Kind of like how Estelle, I loved picking on Estelle. I love picking on Rita. Just a funny character to have that, like, done with, kind of. Kind of spouts nonsense words. That's what she does, though. Blah, blah, blah. What are my notes on her? Oh, and a big selling point for her. Genuinely, I think she'd be a lot... She'd probably be lower, but I want these two to get married. I love them. It does so much, I think. Their relationship's wonderful. When they found the baby, I was like, this is it. It's so over. And she also had one of my favorite bits, which was Animal Crossing. I really like her design also. I think she's a really cool design. And I love her kit. She might be like one of my favorite mages ever. The character design for her, like the little, what would you call it? The little like ribbon or sash spinning around and making a circle or whatever. I think it looks so cool aesthetically. She has a lot of swagger in that sense. Why does she never wear the goggles though? I really wanted her to wear the goggles like Emma Skye at one point. Yeah, that's our Mordia. Oh, and she was fun to have as the straight man, kind of. That was our straight man. Like, this was the plots, but this was our straight man. She does kind of look like a Digimon protag. I'm so curious to look at all your lists. Alright, here we are. I already know who I'm picking. Post now, between these two, who do you think is number 2? This doesn't count for any points. Okay. Wall of Carol. Okay. Correct. This guy beat all the odds. He beat all the odds. A squire till the end. Yeah, I was actually looking at lists yesterday just to see, like, to get my pulse on what the community thought of these guys. And I saw Carol low on so many of them, and it broke my heart. He has such a good arc, I think. And he's not usually a character archetype that I do like. I usually think, like, the you know, bratty kid. He's not even bratty. But, like, just the kid who brings the team down is easy to hate. But Yuri does so much for him, like, right at the beginning. Of, like, just propping him up. And watching him, like, come of age throughout the whole story. Kind of in an Usopp manner. Is so powerful. And... He didn't make me cry, but he almost made me cry halfway through the game. over him doubting Yuri. That was the most hurt I was throughout this game. It did need a little more, but I was so scared that he was gonna, like, denounce him. He felt like my son throughout it. This game did start during Fatherhood Year, don't forget. He's hilarious also. He's the butt of most jokes, but he's a good sport about it, which works. If he was down bad about all of them, I'd be like, this is kind of sad. Stop bullying the kid. But he's a pretty good sport about it overall. And he always had stuff going on. He had Frog Boy. He had the hat. The hat was huge. Oh, he inherited the crest of Cope from Genus. He inherited it. He was like the second coming, but like In a grander way, kind of. Hey, no problem, Snack. Music wants me to move on to the next. It's true. Also, last week, the Little Shrimp Professor thing was so funny. He wasn't that fun to play, though, which was too bad. That's awesome. Thank you for all your help. Everybody thanks Snack. Kind of kept it moving. And last but not least, King of the Sands, my goat, Kozakura, Raven. I loved this guy. He was the soul bond that actually stuck. Which is impressive, I think. Well, it's not that impressive. Sometimes you can tell. He was funny. He was cool. I loved doing the little voice I have for him. I don't know if it sounds like him, but it's just fun to do. And what I love about him is he's the comic relief character, but he has like the serious side, you know? Hey, thanks, sis. Much appreciated. Enjoy dinner. He's the comic relief that has like the secret serious side. And he actually has one of the deepest serious stories in the game, kinda, with the whole Schwan thing. The whole double identity thing is sick, you know? And when he died in the middle of the game, I thought he was dead for real. I didn't totally think that. I believed he could come back because of the hat. Genuinely. But I was bummed. I thought he would be gone for a long time, at least. I was gonna miss him. I really, like, spent the week between sessions there, like, down bad. I was like, dang, dude. Like, he's gone. He was so fun to, like, write for and make dumb stuff up for. Wee Sand was such an overarching bit. He was right in the middle for me to play as. I think I got more of a hang of him at the end when I got more of his kit. He's definitely not like a combo heavy guy, or at least he's not easy to grasp combo wise, but he has a lot of cool random things in his kit. And I love how when he does come back, he has that like new resolve to see the future or whatever, see what the next generation's gonna do. Because you could so easily kill a character like that off and be like, it's up to you now, kids. But no, he's an old man who sticks around to see what happens, and I like that. I think that's cool too. I love him. He's great. And they're all great, and I love them all. I'm sorry. Flynn, hold on. There we go. Shoulder to shoulder. All stars. Great playthrough. Again, I'm not going to say exactly where it lands. Because who knows? You gotta wait till end of the year for that one. But I think you can expect it to land pretty high. I loved this playthrough. It was a blast. Thank you for making it a blast. And we have some post-game to do. I don't know how much. We'll see what it is next time. But the plan is to just play the post-game of this until I go on my trip. And hopefully wrap it up in a nice way. And then Xenoblade 2 when I get back in April. It'll be our next Sunday game. And that's another gargantuan in our path. And I'm excited for that too. I'm really excited to dive into the gameplay of that and see what it's like. The best Sunday game. We'll see. I believe it could be. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say the best, but I believe it could land very high. But I really don't know what to expect. I truly am going into that like so blind. Because I know it's a departure from the first one in a lot of ways. So that'll be cool. What above Bug Fables? Stay tuned. Yeah, a new artist. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And hey, stay tuned for more stuff. That's kind of all I got. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Because I did. If you didn't, sorry that this took like 6 months or whatever. When did we start? September? October? Whatever. Hey, I gotta get out of here. We're overtime. Thanks for joining. We're still playing the game next time. I'll post the pictures down at the bottom here in the Discord, so stay tuned for that. Bye-bye, everybody. Rah!